In the film world, we try to tolerate others' opinions. For some, there might be an emphasis on try, but regardless, whatever your opinion on a piece of art is, it's fine and it's your opinion. There's sometimes a term tossed around where people say, oh, it's harmless, and of course, most things are. Most mindless entertainment is pretty much harmless, I guess. However, I want to get this out now. I think now is a great time to do so. I want to try and dissuade people from watching a show which I think is harmful. One of the worst pieces of media I have ever witnessed on the big screen or the small screen, 13 Reasons Why. I was hoping to release this before Season 3 came out, but then Season 3 came out because I don't care. I don't follow this stupid show. I know I'm new to YouTube, so most of you probably don't have an idea of what my tastes or opinions are, but let me just say, I'm not someone who's easily offended. I'm never triggered by shocking content or rarely disturbed. And I'm also strongly against censorship. Even the trashiest, most offensive films out there that have ever been made, I don't think deserve to be banned. If you like The Last Airbender, Atlas Shrugged, Freddy Got Fingered, or Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas, that's fine. That's great. I don't think these films should be banned from human eyes. It's not a big deal. What is a big deal is a show deliberately implanting the wrong idea, a completely askewed and dangerous message into the minds of kids, teens, and young adults, and making them think it's right. 13 Reasons Why was built up fairly well when it was premiering. The topic of mental illness had been coming up a lot in the 2010s, and many were praising it even before the show aired about how brave it was for talking about such a serious issue. It was starting a conversation. It was important because it had meaning. It's not like other shows that are just mindless entertainment. This one has meaning. That means it's the greatest show of all time. Let's not think at all about how the message is represented. It just has one. That means it's God tier. 13 Reasons Why, aside from its message, may not be that bad. I mean, okay, it'd be bad, but not nearly as bad as I'm building up to be. Just a dopey teen show for kids to enjoy, like Riverdale, my favorite comedy series. The writing, the acting, the pacing, the overdramatic tone, the edgelord triggers, the completely pointless moments, an entire useless second season are so cringeworthy on my part. However, this show decided to throw all that out the window and just simply be a conversation starter. Oh, well, if that's your angle, allow me to take this one. If you're just going to disregard the power of cinema and the emotional power it can have over people, then I'll just ignore all that too and focus on the only thing you care about. No, not money, the thing you claim to care about. So if that's your game and you only want to be a message, I'll judge you only on your message. Is that okay? Let's see how this fares out. So the plot of the show is about Hannah Montana. She sets up some sociopathic Saw-level plot of revenge right after she kills herself. Right off the bat. Suicide is so much more complicated than this. It's so much more complicated. It's not just feeling sad. It's not just hating everyone. That's just what people see on the outside. There is so much depth in this dark pit that the hole is practically bottomless. It's so complicated that you can't even show it through dialogue or through a foreign perspective. It's hating yourself. It's hating yourself so much that you want to hurt yourself and take yourself out. And even my explanation isn't doing this horrific action any justice. But Hannah deals with essentially none of this. She just deals with things that ignorant parents probably suppose this is why their kids harm themselves. Nothing about it feels real at all. Because she was bullied, or because her friends don't like her anymore. Yes, these are things that can affect a depressed person. But like I said, the mental issues that Hannah is supposed to be dealing with are so much more complicated than this. And there should be so much more turbulence going on in her head that we're not even aware about. Besides her hatching some BS revenge plot to make everyone who made her kill herself feel guilt and shame. So yeah, let's get to this, the completely stupid plot of the entire series. So if you ignore the fact that the concept is completely convoluted and ridiculous, it gives a completely wrong message to young adults. Rather than the show focusing on the issues Hannah had, it decides to focus on how awful everybody in her life was to her. Her suicide is hardly portrayed as something tragic, rather it's presented as poetic justice and romanticized in a disgusting way. She got revenge on all the terrible people in her life. This is so frustrating, and the fact that it's marketed toward a younger crowd is scary. I am legitimately scared that teenagers, maybe even kids, are watching this show. According to a survey done in Journal of the Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, a 28.9% increase was shown the spike in teen suicides since the show's release. Coincidence or correlation? That's because Hannah's suicide is practically glorified. Her death needs to be treated with more dignity and tragedy. But when you have her set up this stupid scheme, now bully kids think that this is going to be a good way to go about it. This will be their escape. That this would be a great way for revenge. I'll just destroy them by destroying me. No! They'll see it as just a big way to get attention and curse everyone, when that's not the answer. So this right here is a huge problem of the show for many. All the adults in the show are portrayed as completely unhelpful to Hannah or any of the other characters. In fact, the adults in this show are so idiotic that they're practically antagonists. They never actually help Hannah, and instead it just shows a young audience that you can't go to professionals or anyone for help. How is this helping the cause? Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on the showrunners. Their intentions could have been good, right? In fact, they tried doing research at different facilities. That may be true. They tried at first, but listen to this. One of the organizations they visited were the American Association of Suicidology. On their visit, the organization told them some crucial things to know before making the series. One of the most important being, don't show the suicide in its graphic entirety since it can be harmful, especially to young viewers. You know, in case that's your audience. Can you guess if they follow that rule or not? The association has some other guidelines they have for suicide portrayed in television or film. These are just guidelines, but let's see what they are. Let's see what 13 Reasons Why decided to follow. They may simplify suicide, such as by suggesting that bullying alone is the cause. They may make suicide seem romantic, such as by putting it in the context of a Hollywood plotline. They may portray suicide as a logical or viable option. They may advance the false notion that suicides are a way to teach others a lesson. Wow! It's like they deliberately tried to do everything they were told not to! Dan Reidenberg, executive director of Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, was asked to review the series as a professional consultant. He then told Netflix not to release the series. And by the way, these guidelines I mentioned are just for cinematic films for the most part. Something that might just contain a suicide in one of its scenes, and they just want to know how to go about it safely. 13 Reasons Why, however, is a show about suicide, about teen suicide that is meant to deliver a message to teens about teen suicide that is meant to deliver a message to teens about suicide whose audience are teens and maybe even kids. In this case, perhaps you should have taken these guidelines into more careful consideration. There's video evidence of the creators on talk shows or behind-the-scenes featurettes in which professionals spell out just how wrong some of the choices in the show were.
Certainly, we would never advise anyone who's exposed to an active shooter to confront them, even if it's a loved one.
They are deliberately ignoring the advice given to them now. But let's just cut to Selena Gomez congratulating the show. Congratulations. You're helping so many people. Buy my album. After these awkward interviews, the showrunners just go back to Netflix and pat themselves on the back for doing a good job. Because somehow they've tricked tons of Americans into making them think that they're making a difference. Yeah, you've made a difference, alright. Thanks for all the more teen suicides, assholes. In Season 2, one of the boys comes to the school and wants to shoot it up. So our protagonist walks right up to him and tries to talk him out of it. I don't need to explain why. I don't need to explain why this is the worst idea anyone has ever had. That's like a deer walking up to a hunter and saying, "Hey, don't shoot me." And yes, they try to shoehorn in a school shooting message. Swear, these idiots have no idea what they're doing. These sick, twisted men, they do not even care about these issues. I can't even look at them. They are just using them as springboards to pretend like they have something to say in the hopes that their series will get more views. They have no respect for the people they claim to represent or for their audience. They have no idea what they're doing, and if they do, then these dirtbags are despicable. Yes, it's important to talk about it, but if you represent it wrong, you end up doing more harm to the cause than good. That is why 13 Reasons Why is one of the few, if not the only piece of media I would actually call harmful. The main reason is it's marketed toward impressionable young minds who don't understand the real world yet, and they think that this is the healthy way to go about it, but it's not. And here's a little something I'll add that might be a little hard to swallow. We all have hardships. We've all been bullied or at least disliked. It's human. It happens to everyone. Don't freak out and hurt yourself just because of some high school drama that won't matter to anyone in 4 years. We need to get through it, and it shapes who you are. Yes, there are bullies, douchebags, and a-holes out there. I was a big victim of bullying myself, and you know what? Those people are wrong. They need to stop. They need to stop putting down others just for fun. But if you kill yourself because of scumbags like that, they win, not you. The world is full of horrid people, unfortunately. They are wrong, they are ignorant, but you probably have so much more potential than those idiots. Besides, as I've come to learn, there are lots of great people in the world too. People who don't want to see you gone. I guarantee you, no one is like Hannah, where even the people close to her can't connect and can't understand what's going on. Don't be like Hannah. Don't follow the show made by these rich assholes. Don't be like some pretty mannequin girl who freaks out over friends not liking her anymore. Don't be like that. It's all BS. It's all awful, misrepresented fiction. And you are so much more than to be persuaded by some pea-brain bully or some crappy TV show that does not care about you. Parents, don't let your kids watch this show, or at least talk to them about the issues being misrepresented. Don't be afraid to be a parent. And in conclusion, if you are struggling with depression or suicide, if you're feeling like you're not wanted or you're not important, check out these organizations. Talk to someone, anyone. Professionals, your parents, your family, your friends, anyone at all. Please don't give your attention to some show that tries to capitalize off your mental illness, that just tries to pander to you because of it. Something that makes shallow people watch and go, "Oh wow, I'm watching a show about how suicide is bad. I'm such a good person, right? I know all about suicide now. Now I can help everyone who feels depressed. And if not, well, they're just miserable." Don't give your attention to people who are now fully aware of what they're doing and now blatantly have no respect for you. And this is why 13 Reasons Why needs to stop. They are exploiting this to young adults, and they have no respect for you whatsoever. They do not care that they are harming people, that they are increasing teen suicides. They are now fully aware of it, and they do not give a crap that they are going against the cause. 13 Reasons Why, you are not here to help. You only care about views and money. I will rarely say this to anything. Perhaps I will never say this to anything. But please, stop watching 13 Reasons Why if you do watch it. Don't give these lauders any more attention than they already have. That's why I'm trying not to use a whole lot of footage in this video. Sorry if that was a little ranty. I've wanted to say this for a long time. Well, I'm Peter Fox. I wish you all the best. Take care.